Hey everybody, KMO here. I did a podcast fairly recently. It's the most recently released episode of the Padverb podcast. I was talking to a robot designer named Carla Diana. And we were talking about actual robots as they are appearing in the world and how they differ from the robots that science fiction has trained us to expect. And one of Carla's positions, and this is not her main point, but it's something that came up in the conversation, is that sci-fi has programmed us with some unhelpful, unrealistic expectations regarding robots. One of them being that they will be shaped like humans, and that we should take the humanoid robot that can walk and talk and move through the human world about as adroitly as a human can as like the gold standard for a robot, as a mature development of robotics. And she says that's unhelpful. And toward the end of the conversation, I asked her if she had any general prescriptions. You are a menace. Oh my gosh, you are a menace. This thing I'm wearing around my neck, this lovely bolo tie, which supports my Bluetooth microphone, it's a headphone cable, but it doesn't work anymore because this cat chewed through it. Monster. Anyway, Carla Diana was saying that she thought that everybody needed to achieve a certain level of, what did she call it? Robo Literacy. Well, this is a style of communication I hear, or it's a style of thought that I hear from people a lot. It's everybody needs to understand X. Everybody needs to adopt this belief. Everybody needs to come around on this topic, get on the same page, and then things will be fine. That's not going to happen. That's simply not going to happen. I mean, you can spin out scenarios if you want for really completely, when I say completely useless, I don't mean it, derogatively, but completely abstract, completely esoteric, just speculative ventures. If everybody adopted X belief, here would be the results. But in terms of, finding a useful path for our civilization to move into the future with, if everybody believed X is not even open for debate. It's not on the table. It's not an item to be considered in realistic thought. Not everybody's going to believe X. Not everybody's going to get up to speed on topic X. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. That's not the way people work. So if you have presented an argument like this to me recently, everybody needs to believe such and such, or everybody needs to have a certain level of literacy in this area, I'm not talking to you in particular, and don't take it personally. I get this a lot from a lot of different people coming from a lot of different angles on a lot of different topics. They think everybody needs to achieve my level of understanding on a particular topic, and then all manner of problems in the world that arise from misunderstanding and miscommunication and people working at cross purposes unnecessarily, all that's going to go away. Well, it's not in the cards, because that's not how human brains operate. We are evolved to acquire language at a particular time in our development, pretty early on in the grand scheme of things. And shortly after we've got a decent vocabulary and a decent handle on the syntax of our local language, then we start acquiring the worldview of our band, our tribe, our family, our group. And most people adopt that worldview, and they'll add items to it as necessary over the course of their lives, but they don't interrogate it. They don't go back to fundamentals and really ask themselves, is this the best worldview on offer? Is this the worldview that I should really be, basing my life around? They just don't. They don't ask that question, and I don't think they should. Now, that's a very elitist thing for me to say, because that's what I do. I examine my own beliefs and I challenge them, and when I find myself getting too comfortable in them, that sets off some alarm bells. That makes me think, oh, you're becoming a meme bot. A meme bot is somebody who is just ruled by their belief system. They have become the walking, talking, grasping platform for a set of co-evolved memes, or a set of ideas that work well with one another. And when I say work well with one another, not to achieve anything beneficial for humans in the world, they work well with one another for sustaining themselves and propagating themselves into the future. Most people are not going to question their basic belief systems, because they're, evolutionarily speaking, in the grand sweep of human evolution, that's a bad idea. you get by in the world by sharing a belief system with a group of people, and that belief system it provides cohesion. It is a social bond. And for most of human existence, losing your good standing in your local human group, that was death. Because humans don't survive alone. They survive in groups. They work cooperatively. This whole living as a human being thing is not done solo. Even for, shut-ins and antisocial people, they still occupy a space or a niche in society. And that is how they survive. So for most of human history, it just hasn't made much sense. In fact, it was just downright self-destructive to question one's own belief system. Now, you could say, yeah, there's probably a need for it, but it's not going to happen. And the fact that it's not going to happen is a good thing. Because people who do adopt radically different belief systems later in life, they tend to be fanatics. Whatever your idea is, everybody needs to believe X. Do you want them to believe it fanatically? Do you want them to be so gung-ho about it that they're proselytizing and they're de-emphasizing other aspects of their life, which, they're neglecting aspects of their life, which really need attending to because of their great enthusiasm for this new belief system, which is so counter to what they've believed before? My own personal example is Dumerism. I grew up basically an onwards and upwards techno kind of guy. Things are just going to keep getting better. And then when I swung over to Dumerism, man, I swung over hard. I mean, really hard, and neglected parts of my life that if I were still on the optimistic onwards and upwards expectation, I wouldn't have neglected those aspects of my life. And materially, I have suffered for it. Now, in terms of having a rich view, or an interesting network of social relations around the world, yeah, I've benefited from my eccentric path. But, in terms of just hitting the life milestones and having the right numbers in the right columns in the quantified life, I mean, other than health, and, health is beyond monetary value, but it's cold comfort when the money's not there. So, in summary, not everybody's going to adopt whatever level of understanding or point of view you think they should. And it's a good thing that they won't, because the disinclination of most people to question their basic worldview is a feature, not a bug. It provides stability. I certainly don't think that everybody in the world should think and behave as I do. I don't see that as a better world than the one that we have. All right, finally, I'm wearing contacts right now, and I put them in. There was one day that I didn't wear them since I got them. This cat is reaching into frame. Look at this. What's that about? So, as I've mentioned, I'm going to go work on a ski resort this winter, making snow. And it would be very inconvenient to be going in and out of buildings in cold weather wearing glasses, because they fog up, both going in and going out. And also, there will be times when it will be useful for me to be able to wear either sunglasses or goggles, and glasses just don't go well with that, so I got contacts. The glasses that I wear are bifocals. These contacts are not. So there's a new addition to my life. It is the cheap reading glasses, which, one, visually are quite obtrusive, but two, I'm always looking at screens, either in the palm of my hand or in my lap, or, like a foot away in the terms of a laptop. Come on, bud. So I'm always going in and out between the wider world at a distance and the virtual abstract world close up. Go back to sleep. So it's a very fluid, I mean, I just wasn't even aware of going back and forth between the abstract up close and the real at a distance. I just do it all the time in my current lifestyle, and these contacts are not conducive to that. These contacts will be good for when I'm on the mountain and everything is real, and I'm not reading stuff and I'm not typing and composing messages or whatever. But here in my daily existence, my old bifocal glasses are much more adapted. They're better adapted to this lifestyle. But I'm wearing the contacts because I want to get used to taking them out, putting them in, manipulating them. I want to get good at being a guy with contacts. I want to get good at wearing contacts, before I'm on the mountain and I have to focus on other things. Haha, focus. So here's the thing with these. These are 1.75 magnification glasses. I got them at Walmart. They're big and visually obtrusive. The arms are not very securely attached. They kind of jiggle. They were cheap. But when I'm staring at a computer screen and I put these on, or if I'm looking down at a page or a simulated, e-ink page and writing with these on, they really zoom me into that space. So now when I'm in the abstract space, I'm really in it. Like it's almost like virtual reality. It's the surface that I'm reading off of or writing onto is just, it fills my field of vision. And then when I turn to look at something in the distance, suddenly everything is blurry. I can't see anything. So my movement between the two worlds is far less fluid than it was. Now I'm really into one or I'm really into the other, but I can't move seamlessly back and forth between the two like I'm used to. And this is the really weird thing. When I'm not wearing contacts, if I really need to see something, I can bring it closer, and the closer I bring it, the sharper into focus it comes. Now, as I bring things closer to my eyes, the closer I bring them, the less focused they are. So just all of my reflexes are wrong now. I mean, not all of them, but many of my reflexes are just, they're not wired up. The world doesn't seem to be operating the way I'm used to it operating. It's a very strange thing. All right. Now we'll see if any of this video is useful. Oh, the live cat pulled off the dead cat. Where'd it go? Oh, cat. Talk to you later.